Howdy, folks, and we're going to dip down to the Bayou City for this Texas football talking point. I'm Managing Editor Travis Stewart, Associate Editor Greg Tepper, and let's talk Rice football. Them Owls in a bowl game last year raises an important point. Who is winning the city of Houston right now? I think it's Rice.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's flash back 12 months ago.
That's a long time.
The question, there wasn't really a question as to who it was. It was Houston, and it was Houston by a mile.
You bet.
Now, I think Rice has caught up, and they've done a lot of good to catch up and close that gap. Right now, I think it's neck and neck. You know, if Houston is able to bounce back with a good season under Tony Levine, then maybe Houston takes the lead again. But you and I both think that Rice is trending up, and we think that's going to continue in 2013.
Let me phrase the question a different way, okay? Let's say you've got one game to win this year for all the marbles. Doesn't matter who you're playing, irrelevant. You got one game to win all the marbles, right?
Yeah.
Who would you rather put on the field playing for you? Rice's current team or Houston's current team?
Rice's current team. I love what they bring back. I'm particularly high on the Owls this year. I think that they're going to be in for a big breakout year, something like 8 wins or something like that. I think they could be very, very good. I love bringing back Taylor McCarthy. I think he's ready to take a step forward. There are more questions on Houston's side than there are on Rice's. And, you know, talking with Coach David Bailiff, you know, he believes in this team. And he believes that he's finally got the pieces in place to make a run, and I think he's right.
I put a lot of stock into recruiting classes, not thinking this kid's going to be the next All-American, the All-Conference, what have you. That's a crapshoot. But where you recruit from, I think that's very important. And Rice threw down the gauntlet in the city of Houston this year. I think they did a great job getting out into people's front yards, knocking on doors, getting bodies in there from Houston. Whereas University of Houston, they didn't have as much luck. Now, they looked some other places, and part of that's because the current coaching staff there doesn't have as many Texas roots as maybe some other schools. But I think Rice did a really good job cleaning up in their own backyard for recruiting.
I think you're exactly right. You look at Robbie Wells, the tight end, a guy that we're particularly high on out of the Katy area.
I'm particularly high on.
Now, we think he can be a superstar right out of the gate because of the way they utilize tight ends, and he's a perfect example of Rice's recruiting, you know, what they do in recruiting. They go and they say, okay, let's find a guy who's maybe a little under-recruited, and let's see if we can't find a place for him on our team. And that's what they've done for a couple years, and it's finally bearing some fruit. I think Rice is in for a big year, and I think a lot of it has to do with the momentum from last year.
Listen to that. We love you, Rice. Here's to you. We're the only organization that the mob can't find a way to make fun of at halftime because we are supporting Rice. We will catch you next time on another Texas Football Talking Point. I'm Travis Stewart. That's Greg Tepper. Pound. We'll catch you next time.
DCTF Talking Points produced by JPTV. Find us on the web at jeffpowertv.com.